Well, hi everybody. Welcome to the YouTube video for week 13. We're moving right along, aren't we? We're getting near the end of the semester now. And today I'd like to talk a bit more about the compare and contrast essay. The last essay assignment of the semester, although, well, the final exam is an essay, and the final exam is going to be another compare and contrast, by the way. Right. But this is the last formal essay assignment of the semester. Let me share screen here. I have another diagram similar to the ones that I made for you for the personal narrative and for the argumentative essay. This is the structure that we'll be using for the compare and contrast essay. There are you may know from high school, there are two ways to organize a compare and contrast essay. You can do it subject by subject, or you can do it point by point. We're going to be doing a point by point structure. In a subject by subject structure, you would in one paragraph, you talk about all of your points that you're comparing and contrasting in relation to one subject, and then in the next paragraph, you talk about all of your points in relation to the second subject. We're not going to be doing that. We're going to be doing a point by point structure. And in case you don't know what that means, the body paragraphs will be organized around the points, your points of comparison and contrast for the two subjects. The two subjects are the two things you're comparing. In our case, it's going to be those two essays, the Gatto against school essay and Anyan, the hidden curriculum, the social class and the hidden curriculum of work. Those will be our two subjects, those two essays. So you will be doing, I'm recording this on Sunday, so this evening you have a Venn diagram due. So you'll be, I explained this in the previous YouTube video, you'll be identifying the 3 points that you want to compare and contrast. And in here, of course, you put similarities between the two essays. All right. And then each circle would represent one of the essays, perhaps Gatto, Anyan, right? So here in this space, you would put things that you find that are similar in the two essays. And then here you would put, here and here, you would put things that are different, and you try to keep them organized, right? So if you have one point that you find where there's a contrast, you'd put one entry here and one entry here related to that point. So something like the regimentation of the classes, and you might find that there's a difference between the two essays regarding that. So whatever Gatto says about that point, you would put that here, and whatever Anyan says, you would put here. Right? And do that, identify several. You're going to choose 3 for your 3 points for your essay. And then your body paragraphs are going to be organized around those points. In each paragraph, excuse me, in each paragraph, you will compare or contrast your 2 subjects in regard to whatever point you're covering in that paragraph. So in your introduction, of course, you want to tell the reader what you're comparing and contrasting. In this case, you'll give a little background on the 2 essays. And then in your thesis, you want to say what you found that's similar in what you found that's different, and say something interesting about that. So not something obvious, right? So in your thesis statement, you do want to very briefly mention your 3 points that you're going to be covering, all right? And whether they're similar, or whether the subjects are similar or different in regard to each of those points. We're going to cover thesis statements probably Thursday in the Zoom class. And then, so yes, we've covered the introduction. And you know, the same thing as with the other essays. You want to hook the reader. You want a title, right? Your background information, the thesis statement, and still you want a topic sentence, and you want where you would introduce your point in your topic sentence in each paragraph, right? And each of the paragraphs, of course, should support your thesis, as it was in the other 2 essays. And then in your conclusion, restate your thesis in a different way, and summarize the results of your comparison and contrast. Now, all right, cover just a little bit about thesis statements today. There are 2 types of thesis statements that you can use in a compare and contrast essay. There is the evaluative thesis statement, where you take a position on the comparison and contrast. And you actually did this. There was a compare and contrast component. I'm sure most of you noticed that in the argumentative essay. And this is basically what you did in the argumentative essay. You wrote an evaluative thesis statement. You took a position on how you felt life has changed for African Americans between 1963 and today. And you took a position. It's gotten worse, it's gotten better. Okay, so that's an evaluative thesis statement. The other type of thesis statement is an explanatory thesis statement, where you tell the reader something interesting about your comparison and contrast, but you don't take a position whether one thing is better than the other. You explanatory. You explain, but it should be interesting. It should not just be something. You shouldn't just say something obvious about the 2 essays. We're going to go, as I said, we're going to go over this more during Zoom class on Thursday. So, and again, please read this. I'm going to cover the main points here. Please, this assignment sheet is with each of the components of this assignment on Blackboard under weeks 12, 13, and 16 with the assignments. All right. So yes, so I've covered the 2 types of thesis statements. We know we are comparing against school and social class and hidden curriculum of work. Yes, and I want you, as I showed here, you want 3 points of comparison between these 2 essays. And we're going to use the point-by-point structure as I showed here, right? So your body paragraphs are organized around the points rather than around the subjects. Okay. And yes, and so here, just let me highlight this. Right. So, thank you. Okay. Thank you, Adobe Acrobat. All right. Now, you'll be using explanatory thesis statement, as I just said, but don't express something obvious. Express something interesting. And one way to approach this, you ask when you write the thesis statement, ask yourself, so what? Why would the reader be interested in this? And then try to answer that question. Well, because, and that's your job to think something up for that, right? Okay, and so yes, you should state something interesting and worthwhile that you have discovered when comparing and contrasting the 2 essays. And then the rest of the essay should support the thesis. thesis statement. Okay. A lot of this is the same here as it was for the argumentative essay. Avoid first person, use third person. All right, he, she, they, etc. All right, I'm sorry, and don't use contractions. I noticed in the argumentative essay, some of you used contractions. Don't, won't. In the personal narrative, that was fine, but in a formal academic essay, it's much better to use the expanded form. Do not, will not, has not. Okay. I had said this orally. Now I'm putting it in writing, just so everybody understands. No block quotes. So that also means that in MLA, all your quotes should fit in 4 lines or less of your text, and I prefer less. Okay, like much, really, one line, one sentence, maybe 2 would be plenty. All right, I've read these essays several times, and I want to read what you write, not what God or Anya. Okay, but give enough that let's go down to the reading audience here, right? Give enough so that the reading audience will be able to follow your essay. We're assuming your reading audience has not read the 2 essays, Gatto and Anya. So give enough information so that the reader understands, but don't quote so extensively. It's not necessary. Okay. But I've made the rule: no block quotes. Maximum should be 4 lines in direct quote, but preferably less. This will be the same length as your argumentative essay, 1,000 to 1,250 words, about 3.5 pages roughly. And as always, well, except for the Venn diagram, all of these should be in 12-point font, DocX PDF, DocX or PDF, and MLA formatting. Okay. Check that handout is still up there on course documents. Please, if you need to review that, please do that. You'll be submitting the Venn diagram and tentative thesis statement by Sunday the 14th, which I'm recording this on Sunday. That should be this evening. First draft is due the following Sunday. All right. We'll be covering this more on Thursday about your thesis statements and to get you up to speed, so you're ready to write your first draft. Then your final revision is not due until December 12th. All right. You have Thanksgiving in between. We are going to be doing a practice final exam in between. So you have quite a bit of time to write your revision and submit it. But don't wait till the last one. And of course, I will provide comments on your first draft, as I did with the other essays, to help you with your revision. Okay, I think, yeah, we're just about out of time. As I said, we're going to cover more of this on, let's stop the share here. We're going to cover more of this on Thursday, especially thesis statements. And we'll have, well, some sort of exercise in breakout rooms related to this. Well, let's see. The following week is Thanksgiving. Probably the week after that, we'll do. We'll try a peer review in the breakout rooms. I have to arrange how to do that. I hope we wind up with an even. I hope we wind up with an even number of people. There's supposed to be there are 24 students in this class, but I hope that we have an even number of people on the date of the peer review, so that we can have partners. We'll work it out. But that will, yeah. So peer review will be on the that would be on the 2nd. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see. What else do I need to tell you? Please, I'm always reminding you, office hour visit, the plagiarism test, the loop. For those of you who have not done one or more of those things, please do them. Okay, they count toward your participation bit. And probably about 1% each on which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but it could, it could kick you over from like a B- to a B or something like that. So do those things. It could help you in your final grade. Right? And they're they're not that hard to do. The office hour visit is 15 minutes. All right, and the plagiarism test, you can do it. I know you can do it. It's most of you have already. Okay, and for Tuesday we're doing Liar Liar Pants on Fire. I think I have a discussion board prompt you'll enjoy. On I've already posted that for Liar Liar Pants on Fire, and the usual work for Tuesday, annotations. Watching this, of course, right? And then the discussion board. All right. So I'm over time here, and I will see you on Thursday. Please email me. Come to office hours, and until I see you again. Bye bye.